You're watching Channel News Asia's continuous coverage out of Singapore today. The country has begun the first of 7 days of official mourning for its first Prime Minister, Mr. Kuan Yew.
He died this morning at the age of 91. Singapore is beginning a week of national mourning after the death of its first Prime Minister, Kuan Yew.
A private family wake is being held today and tomorrow at Sri Temasek, the Prime Minister's official residence at the Istana. And dignitaries have been arriving all afternoon to pay their respects.
The hearse carrying the body of Mr. Lee arrived at the Istana at around 1 p.m. On Wednesday, the coffin will be placed on a gun carriage bound for Parliament House. The public will be able to pay their respects there.
Well, let's go over to Istana Park and join our reporter, Kuan Yew. Yew, give us a sense of the mood there right now.
Well, Glenda and Stephen, the mood here at Istana Park has been heavy and solemn throughout the day. Since 7 o'clock in the morning, we've seen first a trickle and then a constant and unabating stream of people coming forward to pay their tributes to the life and legacy of Mr. Kuan Yew. Now, I'm here reporting to you from outside the Istana. The Istana is the official residence of the President of Singapore, and within its grounds is also where you'll find the office as well as the official residence of the Prime Minister, and that is, as you've mentioned, Sri Temasek. Now, Mr. Kuan Yew's body is now resting inside Sri Temasek for a private family wake. And throughout the afternoon, we've seen past and present colleagues as well as family and friends make their way inside to Sri Temasek to pay their final respects. Now, let's hear from some of the dignitaries who were there.
Some have described Singapore's progress from third world to first world in one generation as a miracle. But it was Mr. Lee's leadership that was crucial for Singapore to succeed through determination, hard work, and resilience. Mr. Lee's passing is a great loss for Singapore and for all of us. But we will always remember him, and we will honor his legacy.
We have lost Mr. Lee Kuan Yew, but Singapore will live on, and better still, because of Mr. Lee Kuan Yew. The foundations that he built up are the foundations for the future. Everything, education, housing ownership, multiracialism, tripartism, clean government, everything that is Lee Kuan Yew is what will hold us well for the future.
It's very difficult to say
just before 1 p.m. By that time, the area behind me was packed with both Singapore and international media, as well as hundreds of onlookers. All of us just awaiting the convoy. And when the convoy, the hearse and the convoy of police riders finally rounded the corner and made its way towards the Edinburgh Gate just behind me, you could hear spontaneous shouts of Mr. Kuan Yew's name come up from the public. It's a very emotional moment here, and I think it seems to me that the overall sense is one of shock. Besides the great sense of loss that people are expressing here, there's also a great sense of shock that despite having been prepared for the last week, having had been forewarned in a sense of Mr. Lee's deteriorating health, deteriorating condition, the sense that his death, the passing of such a prominent as well as preeminent player in the history and development of modern Singapore, will take some time to sink in. Now, my colleague Leong Wai Kit has more reactions from the ground.
As the hearse carrying Mr. Lee's body entered the Istana grounds, many stood in line to pay their respects. They honored him for his contributions and bade farewell to Singapore's founding father.
Pay my last respect to Mr. Lee Kuan Yew. When I look around, I think we are quite fortunate to be a Singaporean.
Without him, we would not be enjoying what we have today.
He gave us Singapore, gave us all of this. The ability for us to live in here is really thanks to Mr. Lee Kuan Yew.
We've lost a founding father, a father that's been so good to our country.
Some Singaporeans came as early as 7 this morning. This area behind me was set up gradually from 8:30, and since then, there's been a steady stream of visitors. It's near lunchtime now, so there's a crowd forming outside the Istana. Some came prepared with flowers, while others brought along personal items that contain special memories for them.
I remember I was about 15 years old, and I do like to attend political rallies. So even though I was quite young, I was eager to go, and I know there was a rally going on in Bukit Panjang Primary School. So I took a bus down, and so I just saw him walking in, and they took a seat behind, and what I did was just went at the back, and I told the security people, "Can I have his autograph, please?" And he turned around and he took the book, and he signed his signature, and he told me, "Be a good boy." And well, here I am to tell the world that how fortunate I was to get this great man's signature.
Others went out of the way to make sure their gifts were appropriate. This man spent 3 hours visiting more than 10 florists near his home. He wanted the flowers to be in the national colors of red and white to honor the late Mr. Lee.
Ian, so what's happening at the Istana over the course of this week?
Well, Glenda, the tribute point of memorial, of condolence boards and condolence books will be laid out here for the next 7 days. And on day 3, after the private wake is over, on Wednesday morning, the body of Mr. Lee Kuan Yew will leave Sri Temasek, it will leave the Istana and make its way slowly towards Parliament House, where it will lie in state for the next few days for the public to pay respects. The funeral is on Sunday.
Thanks for that update, Hoyen Lee at Istana Park.
At 8 a.m. at local time today, Prime Minister Lee Hsien Loong addressed the nation.
Good morning, my fellow Singaporeans. I'm deeply saddened to tell you that Mr. Lee Kuan Yew passed away peacefully this morning at the Singapore General Hospital. The first of our founding fathers is no more. He inspired us, gave us courage, kept us together, and brought us here. He fought for our independence, built a nation where there was none, and made us proud to be Singaporeans. We won't see another man like him. To many Singaporeans, and indeed others too, Lee Kuan Yew was Singapore. As As Prime Minister, he pushed us hard to achieve what had seemed impossible. After he stepped down, he guided his successors with wisdom and tact. In his old age, he continued to keep a watchful eye on Singapore. Singapore was his abiding passion. He gave of himself in full measure to Singapore. As he himself put it towards the end of his life, and I quote, "I have spent my life, so much of it, building up this country. There's nothing more that I need to do. At the end of the day, what have I got? A successful Singapore. What have I given up? My life." I'm grieved beyond words at the passing of Mr. Lee Kuan Yew. I know that we all feel the same way. But even as we mourn his passing, let us also honor his spirit. Let us dedicate ourselves as one people to build on his foundations, strive for his ideals, and keep Singapore exceptional and successful for many years to come. May Mr. Lee Kuan Yew rest in peace.
And we take a look back at the life and times of Mr. Lee.
He's the founder of the nation. He led Singapore from British colony to independent country.
And the gumption to stand up for ourselves, then I say, write it off. Forget it. This is entrepreneurship on a political stage, on a national scale. We changed the complexion of Singapore.
The discrimination he experienced studying at Cambridge in England reinforced his belief. He formed the People's Action Party in 1954, enrolling both pro and non-communists with one common goal: independence from the British. In 1955, Mr. Lee won the Tanjung Pagar seat in his first election, after which he never looked back. In 1959, the British granted Singapore self-governance. Mr. Lee then led the PAP to win the Legislative Assembly elections and became Singapore's first Prime Minister. Self-governance brought with it a slew of challenges. Without the British as their common enemy,